Now, some of my clients come to see me, say they are suffering from grief. They may not even be aware it's grief, but recently or in the past, someone has died in their life that was either close to them or they wish they'd been close to. Now, depending on the particular circumstances, results in certain outcomes. So, for instance, if you were very close to someone, that can leave a real big gap in your life. Perhaps there was a conflictual relationship. You wanted to be close to them or wish you had. Then you have feelings of guilt and remorse. Whatever this situation is, as human beings, we need to process those feelings and responses. And there are many different models when we look at grief, but basically I look at a 4-stage model. People seem to have to go through these, often not in a linear fashion, but they need to do that and process each stage for them to get to full recovery. The first stage is often disbelief. There's a sort of shock. They can't believe it's happened. Well, how was this possible? It then turns quickly to anger that perhaps the person has left you. How dare they leave you here when the relationship was so close? It may be anger at the hospital if the person was in a prolonged illness situation. It may be anger at yourself, saying, I wish I'd done more. But then over time, those sort of feelings come up, there can actually be a sense of depression, a sort of sadness, an enduring loss, a sense of, well, there's nothing you can do, what's worth the bothering anyway? All of these things happen, as I say, not in a linear fashion. All of these things happen not in a linear fashion. You may go from anger to depression, back to disbelief and shock, and then raging at the world. And you may go around this loop several times before you reach recovery. Now, people who try to avoid this and try to sort of get their lives back on par very quickly, avoid the opportunity to process the very changes that we all must face as we go through life. If not, as new things come up in our life, our loss of our youth, opportunities, friendships that pass by, these add on to the grief we haven't dealt with, and we get a complicated grief situation which causes a lot more problems. The good news is that you can work through these stages, but it takes time so that you can make sense of what has happened. Take those experiences from the past and carve out a better life so you don't come out of relationships in the future with any sense of remorse or regret, but a life well lived.